y'all, I'm Hope at Crafty Hope and welcome. I'm working on ICAD number 56 today. Now, ICAD means Index Card a Day. It's a challenge that's a 2-month long challenge that comes from Tammy Garcia of Daisy Yellow. She's also Gypsy999 on Instagram. She started the challenge like 12 years ago, and at this point, she is offering up weekly themes and daily prompts to help those who want the help or want the challenge. And today, her prompt is forest. Now, I'm not going to use that today. I also have written down my friend Nina Fickett has her own mixed media ICAD prompts, and her prompt for today is proportion. I'm also not using that today. So, y'all, I'm going promptless today, and it kind of takes me on a crazy path. Now, I did think about doing forest for just a minute, but it just felt like I would work too hard to contrive something out of that, and I didn't feel like that was in what I was feeling today or in the vein of where I've been trying to go. So I'm like, yeah, no prompts today. So I'm just playing, and I like what I've created for the most part. It's one of those cards that as I played, I found things that I liked in it and will definitely be doing again. So, come with me on this journey. So, the first thing I'm doing here, you're probably getting tired of seeing me collage if you've been watching these iCads, but I have been working through some excess scraps that I have in my craft stash. I've got these 2 boxes. You can see one of them on the left that I, a couple days ago, worked it down to just 1 box. Hooray! But now I've got these really random, odd scraps left, the things I didn't use in the first 55 days. So I'm trying to make these work. And they're, for me, just a really good jumping off point to get past that blank page, to thicken up these cards, to just get something on the page. So that's all I'm doing here. You can see I've got a napkin and a ton of envelope, apparently, and little bits of map and dictionary paper and y'all, just all kinds of stuff. One of the pieces, I think my favorite piece on there, is part of a masterboard I made from some lessons Amy Bishop did here on YouTube. I'll put a link to Amy down in the description box so you can check her out. I think her videos are like a year or two old. Maybe I'll put a link to the first one and you can try to work your way through it. But basically, it was creating this really grungy, awesome masterboard type thing that you then tear up as like collage fodder. It was, yeah. And so that piece is along the bottom and it's got like a little bitty snippet of cheesecloth on it, which gives so much texture at the base of this card. So yeah, that's my favorite piece on there. But I've got everything glued down with my Uhu glue stick, and now I am trimming off the excess because since it was so many different materials, it just wasn't stable. So I'm going to clean that up. And to make this all a little more cohesive, I'll dump some gesso, just Liquitex Basics white gesso right on the top of it. And I really thought I had put too much on there, but once I spread it out, I did not. And you can see right there, you can see that cheesecloth. I cannot get the gesso to cover it because it's got so much texture. And it's fine. I'm going to roll with it. Haha, Brayer, roll. Sorry. Ooh, my coffee hadn't kicked in yet this morning. All right, so I'm going to try this. And y'all, look, I'm going to put some more coffee in my little yogurt cup. I keep this little yogurt cup on my desk with instant coffee that tends to dry up every day, and I hadn't used it in a couple days. But yeah, I thought today might be the day I break it back out. So I added about half a tablespoon maybe of, not table, maybe, I don't know. I added some coffee in there and some water, mixed it up, and then I painted that on my card. Not the whole card as you see, just bits and pieces of it, and I'm using my distress sprayer to get a little bit of water on there and let that coffee move around a bit. So I'm going to dry this since it's really good and wet, and then come in, since that coffee is so strong right there, with some additional coffee splatters. Because, yeah, why not? Layers of coffee are my jam. So I'll dry this as well. All this video is a lot of me drying because I add all kinds of wet things on here. Now, I went ahead and dipped into my little box that's got like focal type things in it and found a watercolored flower that's already been fussy cut out and everything, that I decided right there and then, before I even knew what else I was going to add to this card, that's going to be my focal. So I don't know. I did that and decided I wanted to make a little more grunginess on here. So I've got my Distress Oxide and Black Soot and one of my hand carved stamps, and I'm just kind of putting the stamp around on the card. Now this becomes one of my favorite things on this card, because the next thing I'm going to do is take a wet paintbrush and blur the outside edges of this stamp, because the Distress Oxides are water reactive. So I'm just kind of activating the outside edges of this. Now it takes a minute to really do it, because it's a little bitty paintbrush, kind of a fine thing to do, but I love this effect. I've done it on other things before, and yeah, it's one of my favorite things. But with this stamp, what I found that I really like in the end is the inside of that stamp still, for the most part, is got that white, and the structured lines of it on the inside still kind of there in the end, and I really love this. So you can see that, like that one on the left where the white is there. Y'all, it's so good. So good. But I decided I needed to add some more of that black on my card. So I'm going to grab, y'all, this is just a little piece of acetate. I think it came off the top of like a set of stamps. And I'm going to put some of that Distress Oxide on there and spritz it. But I didn't like the hard edges, so I add more of that watery paintbrush, and it got too watery, so I went ahead and just slung that straight on to my card. What I had intended to do was this, which was do some like intentional splatters, but yeah, no, I just let it sling on there, and it works out. It really is super neat when I get this dry here again, because y'all, that's so wet. It's got to be dried. There's nothing I can do with that card that wet. And y'all, look how yummy that is. Love it. I decided too that I needed some gold splatters, since I knew that little flower that I had some gold on it. So I thought, okay, well, I'll go ahead and bring gold into the card. The splatters aren't completely noticeable because I did water it down just a tad too much. I probably should have just done it without watering it down, but it's okay. I'm going to have more gold in it than I thought. So I start playing. I realize that I have really spent an exorbitant amount of time on that background, and I love it, y'all. I'm gonna mess it up here a little bit. It works. It comes together. It's fine. But yeah. So I played around a little bit, decided I needed a little bit more white on this card, and I had seen Tammy of Gypsy 999, the originator of ICAD, had her card yesterday or the day before, where she had this little rectangle of white dots on her card in just one little section, and I loved that. And so I think that's what kind of propelled me to do this. Now, I didn't do it the same way she did it, but I've got little sections of white dots on my card now to, like I said, just add a little more white in there. And as I looked at my flower and how pink it was, the pink stood out to me too much, and not like in a good way. And so I thought I need to bring some pink onto this card somehow. And I thought doodling with some of my like art crayons would work, but I couldn't find a good color. So I grabbed this. It's a Target acrylic paint in coral, so I could have used my Americana coral blush. Probably would have been great too. That's what's all over my desk there. But for some reason I grabbed this one first, and I thought about doing splatters. I thought about doing some marks. I don't know. I decided what I wanted was some kind of fluid movement. So I'm going to try to paint on this curly QE design. And it's okay that because so much of what I've got in the background is water reactive, the Distress Oxides, the coffee, all of that, the pink doesn't, or the coral doesn't stand out quite as much, which is good and bad. I don't know. It works. I'm having it kind of lead over to where I'm going to put the flower in that upper right corner. So I'm like, that'll be fine, but I need my line to be a little more defined. So I'll grab my chunky Papermate pencil. Well, I'm going to blast this real quick. It's not super wet, and let it dry. And then I'll grab my chunky Papermate pencil and just kind of trace it. And it doesn't really add a whole lot, the pencil tracing, and it hits me that, oh, I can use my Uniball Signo gold pen, which is what I used on the flower, to also bring more of that gold in and make it feel a little more consistent. So yeah, I got to find that on my desk, and I'm going to trace it with that. And so that, it feels a little more right. And once I get the tracing done on that, I decide, okay, we've got to get this down. So what I'm going to do is, that flower, I think, is on some kind of mixed media paper. It's not as heavy as watercolor, but I knew it would need a little help sticking down more than my Uhu. So I grabbed my tacky glue and just stuck my finger, y'all, down in there to get the glue because I didn't have time to go fishing for something else. And I'm going to stick my flower down and grab the metallic stickers from Tim Holtz to find a sentiment. And I find Believe in Daydreams, which kind of felt right. And it's the white with the gold on it, which all felt really good on here. And there was something about that, like the chaos of the background noise felt very industrial, and the flower is kind of the daydream. And you could interpret that maybe as a foresty theme if you want to try that with the daisy yellow prompt. But no, for me, it's kind of the bright spot. Is sometimes your daydream is a place to escape and believe in those and make them happen. So I had to use, my Ooh glue stick a couple times to get that sticker stuck down on all that other stuff I had piled on there. And I'm going to take just a little bit of a Stabilo all pencil in black and activate that just underneath my sentiment. And now I'm going to finally be done with this card, y'all. Like I said, I really like some of the things I did on here. Those stamps are absolutely my favorite. And that black grunge is awesome. So I hope you like this. If you do, make sure to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I will be back hopefully tomorrow. Also, I have another video today. My mixed media menagerie video came out this morning if you're interested in seeing that. So, all right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.